Good morning. Today's date is April 18th, 2019, and this is the Hello Rookie Podcast. How are you doing, Chris?
Oh, not so good.
Why, why do you say that?
Oh, I had cereal for breakfast. It's just it makes me sick.
What
I'm
kind?
like a 16-year-old kid. I can't avoid it. Like I love it. Um, Honey bunches of oats.
Oh, there's nothing wrong with that. Should
Yeah.
be feeling should
Oh,
be feeling good.
fat-free milk too. I just can't do it. I don't know. Whatever it is. That's my last bowl. I've said that 1,000 times in my life. No, but that really is.
Never, man. Frosted mini wheats till I die.
Oh, yeah.
Need that fiber. Anyways, let's talk NBA playoffs. Perhaps DraftKings lineups. Perhaps
Right off the bat,
dueling.
you want to get right into it?
Would you rather start with
You want to
something
go with
else?
it? No, yeah, let's do it right off the bat.
All right.
Dueling. We don't even have that many people in the arena yet. There's only like a couple thousand people watching right now, but that's fine. Dueling lineups, let's do it.
Yeah. Well, everybody else will just have to um, watch it back.
Sure, sure.
We're going to have thousands of people that are going to want to go and rewind and start from this
hmm
segment alone.
Take notes.
Are you recording, by the way?
Nope. Are you ready? Should I start segment?
Yeah, start segment.
Great start, Joe. We're right on pace here.
Boom! And Hello Rookie is live. Dueling lineups coming your way. All right, we're talking NBA playoffs here. We're going to enter lineups on DraftKings. Chris is going to give incredibly detailed, factual, logical um, reasons for his picks, which I, of course, highly respect and encourage you to look after. Lots of value to find there. And I am going to shoot from the hip and just kind of base my decisions based off of what I just see on DraftKings uh, stats and information. So, how do you want to do this? We're gonna enter them both on DraftKings.
Yeah.
For
So you have yours. I have mine. You want me to? I'll go first and go over mine. That way
Sure.
you can adjust your lineup as you need to.
I promise I won't adjust it.
No, I'm messing with you. Yeah, I'll go first, and then we'll build yours here as well, and then we'll enter a head to head. I'll
All right.
challenge you. Um, all right, let's pull it up. So this is my lineup right here. I got Steph Curry. So I'm Warrior heavy tonight. I think the Warriors are going to come out
We we
fast and heavy.
we do have some similar plays. We
Okay,
have three or four similar plays.
great, great.
But I mean, that's what you get when you have four
Yeah,
games.
a 3 game slate. Yeah. Um,
Three.
yeah. So yeah, I think the Warriors are going to come out and put up a ton of points in early in viciously against the Clippers tonight. So I've got Steph Durant. I like Looney a lot tonight, and Iguodala. I couldn't get away from Iguodala at 4,400. He's just in the playoffs. He's so involved and productive, and his minutes go up. And I think particularly with Boogie out, a pissed off Kevin Durant. I think they're going to come out and throttle the Clippers tonight. I think those four guys. So Looney's a good value, 4,100. He'll see increased minutes with. They'll play Draymond at center some. Bogut will start at center. Bogut won't see much more than 15 minutes in the game. A super unproductive 15 minutes in the game. But I like Looney. When given the minutes he produces, he's got plenty of 6x plus games in his game log at 4,100. Montrezl Harrell has been a monster this playoffs. He's actually averaged 32 points a game on the season against the Warriors, and now with Boogie not out there, I think they're going to have their hands full once again with him. He's one of those guys that likes to play at home too. Here, just five more fantasy points per game at home. And again, with Boogie out, Looney's solid defensively, but I think Montrezl Harrell has another big night. DeRozan's a guy that will, when we get to props later, he's a guy that I like some props on him tonight. He's locked in these playoffs. He's clearly super motivated. He's had back-to-back 43-point nights. Coming back to San Antonio, a matchup that he obviously likes. Again, he's playing more minutes. The Spurs are they've been one of the more efficient offensive teams all season. Their defensive efficiencies ticked way up over the past couple months. But yeah, DeRozan's playing great these playoffs. I think he has another big night, especially coming back home. And then when it came down to like the Brooklyn wing players, I'm kind of going out on a ledge here. I don't think there's going to be many people on Joe Harris tonight of Dinwiddie, Harris, LeVert of that group. He'll probably be the lowest owned because he's been poor these playoffs. He's averaging 12 DraftKings points per game in the playoffs. Whereas if you look at his game log at 4,500, we want to get to 26 fantasy points. He hit it every single game leading up into the playoffs. He was in the 7x range for most of those games. So I think he bounces back at home tonight, has a nice game, gets the ball to go in a little. I was left with 5,600. I think LeVert is another guy that you look at his game log. He hits 6x value with ease. I don't know. I given the way Simmons looked in game 2 and the fact that he statistically, if you look at his numbers with Embiid on and off the floor, when Embiid's playing limited minutes or is even out, he's considerably more productive. I think he scores 20% more points per game, like 40% more rebounds. But so I wanted to get Simmons in the lineup, but when I broke down the numbers and stuff, I just couldn't afford him. Ended up having to kind of settle with LeVert here in the utility spot, but that's my lineup tonight: Curry, DeRozan, Durant, Harrell, Looney, Harris, Iguodala, and LeVert.
Solid, man.
Yep.
Heavy. Leaning heavy on those Warriors.
Yeah, Warriors. Right, and that, right. In the regular season, I don't touch Warriors players, but I don't know. Just the way it worked out tonight, I don't know. Maybe it'll pay off for you in the end run or in the long run.
Yeah, we'll see, right? I mean, it's a coin flip. They're so obviously stacked that it's actually possible for 4 players on the same team to all put up solid, if not breakout stats. But yeah, it'll be fun to watch.
Yep. All right, let's build yours. You ready?
Yep. Okay, so we'll go top to bottom, and then I'll talk just about a couple of them. So got point guard, Denver, Murray.
Yep.
Shooting guard, Denver, Gary Harris. And then I'm reaching San Antonio, small forward, Rudy Gay.
Got it.
Clippers, power forward, Harrell, which is our first similar pick, I guess. And then Warriors, Looney, whom I also love tonight. And then I went with Brooklyn's Dinwiddie. Slightly different. I think we both had at least one net guard, though. Then I paid up for Clippers Gallinari and Steph. Right. So I was trying to have a fairly rounded approach in terms of players. So we got 2 Denver players, 1 San Antonio, 2 Clippers, 2 Warriors, and 1 Brooklyn player. Okay. Rudy is the lowest price that he's been in quite a long time, at least definitely in his last 10. He seems to be in a shooting funk. We all know that he can play his ass off, and he puts up good numbers regardless of how he's shooting, boards and everything. So I'm kind of rolling the dice on kind of a mid-tier play and hoping that he is able to turn his field goal percentage around a little bit. He shot terribly on the 16th at only 0.22% from the field, but obviously he's a great shooter, so I'm kind of hoping that he picks up there. You talked about Harrell already. Murray, we've had in a lot of our lineups while you've called him in a lot of our lineups previously. I think he's a consistent, solid play. I don't know value wise. He's probably right kind of at a 0 mark, no plus or minus. I think he's probably pretty well valued at 65. I was just looking for consistency. Looney, you already went through. Dinwiddie. Let's pull him up real quick. So last 10 game log, another kind of consistent 20 fantasy point per game range at 5,000 salary. I figured he seems like a pretty just solid guard play, and if anything, he's trending in the right direction. So let's see who else. Gallinari and Steph. I don't think I need to go into much detail on them. I'm just hoping that Gallinari tries to hold court a little bit, because as you said, Golden State's going to be coming to revenge their loss. So hopefully Gallinari kind of holds court.
So
that's about it.
So the issue I see is the remaining salary.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, there's two things that I could recommend right off the bat. I mean, I'm not going to tell you to change your lineup, but you could sub Durant for Gallo or Draymond for Rudy. Or, I mean, I'm just, throwing that out there. I'm not going to tell you what to do. Again, Ben Simmons could be an easy upgrade somewhere. But yeah, if you're good with it, we'll submit it and go with it. Same thing. I think Dinwiddie. I guess you could only get to Tobias Harris if you took Dinwiddie out. But,
I would consider Simmons just because I don't have a Philly play, but I would look at, I don't know, maybe getting rid of. Well, I don't think I could get there with who I would be willing to get rid of.
Yeah,
I think I'm good with it. We'll see how it goes.
All right. Okay.
All right, so we're gonna have a head-to-head.
Yeah, I will. I'll send you the invite right now, or
okay.
we'll just do it off screen. We don't have to do it right now.
Do it offline. All right, that's fine.
And then we can recap it tomorrow.
Yeah.
I think you're in a lot of trouble on that one, but we'll see how it goes.
We'll see, man.
We'll see. Yep.
I don't know.
Crazy. It's been a crazy playoff overall, like NBA and NHL. The NBA playoffs have been crazy.
I mean, I haven't dug deep into names in a long time.
Yeah.
So
it's a good start.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see. Get back into the swing of things. It used to be nice. I remember when we were in high school, it was just like simple math. I mean, it was like you knew every single name, like, who was just stats, who was just talk, who was puffed up, who was over talked about. You knew their names, every single position wise. You knew, like,
yeah.
I mean, what was it, Small World we used to play?
That was our fantasy league. I don't even remember how that worked. It was like the most points, or that was our NFL, league. Or maybe it was NBA too. I don't know. It was a different format altogether.
We pulled teachers into it.
Yeah, we had super competitive.
That was an awesome league.
Yep.
All right. Do you want to talk more about lineups, NBA wise?
No, because we're gonna do a little bit with the game lines and a little bit with props, right? So We got plenty of NBA stuff.
All right, so we'll close.
You want? Yeah, we'll close it. I closed it. Tell me when you want me to open another one.
All right, open segment. And welcome back to the Hello Rookie Podcast, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for sticking around with us. Yeah, so we chopped this up for those of you that wonder just what in the hell we're doing, so we can put out individual videos for people who have limited attention spans, which is all of us, let's face it.
And we don't have to do any post-editing with this, because it's actually harder than you would expect to do a 1 to 2 hour live show and then a ton of post-editing work and then upload those giant files to YouTube's amazingly quick servers.
Yeah, and there's a few.
Strip the audio from them each and then upload those to our podcast RSS feed and all the places that refuse to accept the podcast RSS feed, like SoundCloud. It's not fast. So this is a way for us to actually do it and get this stuff to everybody.
Yep. So you're welcome. All right, let's talk NBA playoff prop bets. So just real quick. Oh, actually, I had it pulled up. I'm sure you have some already in mind. I'll just go through the lines real quick. Or did you want to start out going through the lines?
Nope. Whatever you want to do, man.
All right, so
I was going to look at player props. I don't think FanDuel has any up right now, but
all right. So just to kick off, NBA playoff betting segment. Again, 3 games on the slate tonight. Action Network has 64% of the money on the 76ers to beat the Brooklyn Nets. 76% of public money is on the Spurs to beat Denver, and 85% of public money is on Golden State to beat the Clippers tonight. Interesting.
Yeah. Did you give out the lines?
No.
Does that seem like something you'll do or no?
Do you have it pulled up?
I do. You want me to give them?
Sure.
Okay. So Philadelphia is a 2.5 point. Well, they opened a 2.5 point favorite against Brooklyn. That has been bet up to 3 already. So Philly -3. San Antonio opened a 2 favorite, bet up to 4 already. And the Clippers opened a 7-point underdog at home to the Warriors, and that's already been bet up to 8.5. Some totals. The Philly game opened up at 226.5. That's up to 228. The Denver game opened up at 212. That's down to 208.5. Golden State opened up 237. That's down to 235. And I don't have first half lines yet. I'll check elsewhere for first half lines, but I don't have any yet. I'm gonna pull up the player props at Joe's favorite book, mybookie.ag. They just have the most up. Like Bovada doesn't have any. FanDuel, I just checked, they don't have any. And you come over to MyBookie and they have a plethora. So I'm going to skim through them real quick. We'll talk about some of the big names. So I was on D'Angelo Russell under 26 points in game 2 of this series. It's at 24.5. They're back home. He's kind of a microwave guy where he could get hot, so I don't have any interest in that one at 24.5. But he's a guy I'd look at moving forward if they're going to keep his numbers in the mid to upper 20s. I would look at fading him once the series gets back to Philadelphia, if it gets back to, or it will get back to Philadelphia, right? Yeah. Then they have a bunch of, points plus rebounds plus steals. You can bet on DeMarre Carroll. This is obviously one that I have some interest in tonight. Joe Harris, points and 3-point field goals. The over 2.5 3-point field goals is plus 140. That's a pretty good number. That's one that I'll be keeping an eye on. One that I would consider laying. Ben Simmons assists. I think his usage is going to continue to be up with Embiid out. So over 6.5 assists is one that I would be looking at. Again, with Embiid limited, his rebound. He actually, when Embiid doesn't play, Simmons averages 19 points, almost 11 rebounds, and over 8 assists. Versus he's generally, I think he's 16, 8, and 7 guy, something like that. So again, rebounds, I think 7.5 is definitely in play, but you're paying minus 145 for that. So that's kind of the reason why the Joe Harris over 2.5, 3 line is appealing. Some JJ Redick. Some JJ Redick lines for you to obsess over, Joe, if you want to go crazy.
Yeah, he's so volatile. Is there 3-point lines? Like how many threes or what?
For JJ?
Yeah.
2.5. I'd be betting the under on that. He's not as good on the road. He hasn't been good this series. Yeah, I'd be betting the under on that. He's also less productive when the big five is on the court together. Which, by the way, I'm pretty sure Philadelphia's up to 10-2 when those guys play together. So it's only happened 12 times, but when the entire lineup is together, they're 10-2, which is impressive. Another one to keep in mind here is favorites have won 11 have covered 11 out of the last 12 games in the NBA. So back to tonight, that would mean Philly, San Antonio, and Golden State are all, if that trend were to hold, would all be in a good spot tonight. Some Embiid, I mean, they have lines for just about everybody that is active. So you can kind of, if you've done your homework with, or your research with fantasy, you can get into these. I'm obviously all over DeRozan over 21.5. That's another one I like. These guys, White, Forbes, Pirtle, all pretty inconsistent. The Jokic, I'd be on the underside of this, 20.5 points in San Antonio. I think San Antonio's defense has been well into the upper half of the league over the last couple of months. Obviously, their offense is the most efficient, or has been amongst the most efficient. That's kind of why they're giving Denver a ton of issues, is that all of a sudden they're playing well defensively. And beyond that, the Spurs were 34-8 at home this season, so one of the better home teams in the NBA. And you can bet on some things like Jokic triple-double. I mean, the only triple-double I think is in play tonight is Ben Simmons, if they even have it available. They only have a double-double available, so I mean, I think that's a lot because he could do it with rebounds or assists. It's plus 105 too, so that might be one of the better bets on the board. Yeah, so those are the ones I like. I like Joe Harris props. I like Ben Simmons double-double. I like DeRozan points over. I'd be looking at potentially Jokic points under. And just for Joe's sake, I would fade JJ Redick and go under 2.5 threes.
Yeah, that's a pretty solid line.
Yep.
Right. So there you have it, ladies and gents. If you're down with some prop bets, head on over to MyBookie. If you don't have an account, be sure to go to Hello Rookie first. Get yourself a MyBookie promo code and sign up. Also, if you'd like to know more about MyBookie or Bovada, feel free to read our reviews. We go into great detail about both companies.
Yep.
All right, close segment.
Okay. Well, just real quick, before we close out the NBA betting segment, I just want to mention on the lines, I do like all three favorites tonight. I think Golden State's going to throttle the Clippers. San Antonio covers, it depends on where you get it, but the 2-4, and Philly wins in Brooklyn.
The line on the Warriors is 8.5.
It's all the way up to 8.5. I'm not sure if that's everywhere. Let me see if you can get it better somewhere else. Nope, it's 8.5 everywhere now. domestically. All the money is on the Warriors. I don't
Yeah,
know. That
it's
makes
like
me a little
80% or
nervous.
something.
97% of the money is on the Warriors.
Holy shit! I mean, they got quite a fan base now.
Yep. And the news is out on the 76ers big line as well. So they got 70% of the money is on. I mean, yeah. No breaking news here. 70% of the money is on um, the Sixers, and 81% of the money is on the Spurs. So favorites are being bet like crazy. You can get the Spurs 3.5 right now in some places, by the way. So
There you go. Piss off. Close segment.
wow.
Open segment.
I mean, okay.
What? Did you want to have some
What's next?
offline chat first?
I'd like to know what we're going to talk about next. Is all. I mean, we
All
open
right.
the segment and it's like I got to scramble to figure out what the hell we're even talking about.
Well, what do you think it's going to be about? It's about the NFL schedule. Whatever you have in mind for that.
Oh, great. All right, hold
You
on.
re-
Let's reopen the segment again in a more professional manner.
Okay.
On your part, you were
All right.
completely unprofessional there.
Okay. And welcome back to Hello Rookie Podcast, the professional fantasy sports
Knock
and
it off.
betting.
This is serious, Joe. Knock it off.
All right. So here we go with the NFL schedule segment. What would you like to talk about with the NFL other than the draft beginning on the 25th of this month?
Thursday. I'll be there with my Lions jersey on. I'm going to cheer so hard for, I don't know, whoever we draft. That's a complete mistake. Probably Noah Fant.
You're joking, right? Are you really going to be there?
No, I'm not going to go. Almost. I was almost going to be in town. I probably still wouldn't have gone. But there's better things to do in Nashville than sit in that auditorium and boo Goodell all night.
Wifey's going to be in Nashville, right?
Yep.
Okay.
So do you want to start with week one lines? You want to start with overall thoughts on the schedule? Did you look at it at all?
No.
Okay. Yeah. So the schedule came out. Actually, if you want to check out like just a general overview of it, Action Network has their strength of schedule numbers up already. And I mean, okay. So the biggest reason why this is what it is the conference they play in, but the fact that the Patriots have the easiest schedule in the NFL, they're not challenged until like week 10, I'm pretty sure. It might be week 9 or week 10. They don't have a game that you would consider a challenge. I mean, they open with the Steelers, so maybe Pittsburgh finds a way to beat Bill Belichick when he's had a whole offseason to prepare for him, but assuming they get past that, they're not challenged by a playoff team until I think after week 8 for sure. So easiest schedule in football. And they did a number on my props too, which is infuriating. Philly's schedule is rough. I have Baltimore under 8.5 wins, and they gave Baltimore one of the more favorable schedules I've seen. Yeah. Baltimore doesn't have back-to-back road games the entire year. They go home, away, home, away, home, away 16 times. It's, yeah. I don't know how that works out. And then there's like some teams, the Raiders aren't home for 5 weeks, 6 weeks, something like that. Yeah. They're idiots. I don't know how they put this crap together. It's ridiculous. Every year it's terrible. I did anticipate the Texans' schedule would be brutal, so I was on the under there, and they did in fact have the hardest. They do have the hardest schedule. Action Network did a good job. I would go check out. I don't know if you need an Edge subscription to see some of their content they put out right away, but they put out strength of schedule by position with breakdowns for early season, mid season, late season. So that's kind of cool to look at. But yeah. With the schedule up, we do have week 1 lines as well, so we can take a peek at those.
Did you have a look at Cleveland's schedule? Because I remember you were saying,
dude, when did Cleveland become? Yeah, I did look at it. It's fine. It is what it is. Like it's fine. I think their number is in play. But they're America's team. 4 primetime games. Like, when did that happen? I don't understand it. Is it Baker? Is it?
Yeah, well,
Odell?
I guess. I guess the combination of them.
Is it Nick Chubb?
Yeah. I mean, it'd be cool if they had a ridiculous season, but like, why overhype that situation? Like, Cleveland has been, you know, in the dumps for so long. Like, why not just let it rise organically and all of a sudden everybody be naturally hyped to get behind a team that is coming out of the ashes? But instead, we go into it with this tremendous line of like nine, right? 9 wins.
Yeah, I think it opened 8.5, and it might be 9 now. Yep, win totals right here. Cleveland 9.5,
Oh my
but they put
good.
plus money on the over there, so I don't know. I would be under that 9-7. I think that's a good year. Baker. So yeah, but I don't. Yeah, 9-7. That'd be a good year.
I mean, I hope it happens. It'd be fun to watch. I like watching Baker. He's fun. He's got
Yep.
an amazing arm.
I don't know
But
if he'd
like
go amazing. He's actually really accurate downfield, which is something that I wasn't sure he would be. And his progressions were good, and yeah, he was really impressive last year.
Chris and I had this conversation last year, week one, I
It,
guess, when Baker start week one last year?
no, Tyrod did
Okay, so he came in. When did he come in?
fairly early. Tyrod got hurt. He like hurt his hand. I think probably week 3. I don't know. It'd be an easy Google, but
I remember watching it and talking to Chris the next day and just being like, "Oh man, this Baker kid." So we've been going back and forth about him for a while, but generally, it's hard to deny he's a solid quarterback.
for
Um,
sure.
I would put a little more emphasis on it just because I think some of the throws that he makes are at an elite level. Hopefully, you know, he has a good year this year, so we'll see what happens. All right. So what other you want to talk week one?
Yeah, let's look at week 1 here. I'll pull it up. This is on FanDuel here. Um, so the not a lot of this jumped out at me. I think they, whoever, I think Westgate was the first book to put the week 1 lines out, but whoever did it did a pretty good job with it. Um,
So the first game is September 5th, so that'd be Thursday, 8:20 game, Packers Bears
yep, and
in
we're
Chicago.
less than 100 days away from the Hall of Fame game, so I believe that's August 4th, something like that.
Let the countdown begin.
Yep, obviously it already has. Um, so yeah, the Bears are 3.5-point favorite at home against the Packers. Um, I don't. I think that's a decent line. I don't really have any interest in that. Actually, overall, I think all the spreads are good. Vikings -4 against the Falcons at home against the Falcons. Dolphins are 3.5-point dogs against the Ravens. This is one. Both these defenses, I think, got worse in the offseason. The Ravens certainly got a lot worse. So we think Miami's offense is going to suck, and that's why the total's 36.5 here. But, Fitzmagic obviously is quite an X factor, right? Like, Fitzmagic is going to convert 3 or 4 third downs every week that no one else can. 36.5 is really low. The Ravens went over 36.5 with a better defense last year in 14 out of 16 games. So that was one that caught my eye right away is going over 36.5.
That is interesting. What happened to Miami's golden boy
You're talking
quarterback?
about Gase, Tannehill. You going
Tannehill.
way? Oh, Tannehill. He's a backup somewhere. I don't know.
Injury?
No, he's gone.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Well, the Dolphins are. I mean, obviously they can't say it, but they're all in on Tua. And if mistakes happen, I think they'll be all in again next year on Trevor Lawrence. Like if they can't get to the number 1 pick this year, I think
That's
they're
interesting.
the favorite to get to the number 1 pick for sure.
So you're saying they're relying on Fitzmagic and who?
I mean, it's Fitzmagic. I don't know who's behind him, but
They're looking for him for a whole season.
oh yeah,
Maybe they're planning on doing something during the draft. I mean, they got to be doing something else. I mean, I love
no,
Fitzmagic. I'm all in on
I
Fitz
think
magic.
I think I think they get it. Like this quarterback class is garbage, and they can't keep going through what they've been going through. They need a real franchise quarterback, and
Yeah, I
there's
mean,
3 or 4 in next year's draft. So
they need Fitz season is what they need.
they need Fitz to do what Fitz does in a 3-13 season. That's what they need. Here, I'm pulling up the Miami depth chart.
Speaking of Fitz magic, what what's the story in Winston? Is he go
Well,
for launch or what?
yeah, and they brought in Arians, and that was one. I thought this line was actually lower than. Oh, it's already been bet way. This opened. The the Bucks were 2.5 point favorite. It's down to 1.5 already. Um, 49ers, I've gone over it. They had one hell of an off season. They'll have Garoppolo back. He's going to be back for 7-on-7 at OTA, so he'll be more than ready by week 1. Um, Added a ton of key pieces on defense. They're getting ready to draft the best player in the draft with Bosa, with D Ford and DeForest Buckner on the defensive line. It could be the best pass rushing defensive line in football. The Bucks still have offensive line issues. They lost Deshaun Jackson this offseason. Still have issues at running back. I don't know. I think that the 49ers are a nice bet at plus 1.5 in week 1. But
I would agree with that, man. Did the Niners have some upper level management changes too, or no?
no,
Okay.
they have John Lynch running the show there.
Oh,
He's been quality. They brought in Tevin Coleman. I think he's going to be a really, really nice piece. McKinnon, Breda is back, so ton of depth at running back for them. Yeah, they're going to have a nice year.
okay. So as far as you know, Winston, this is good to go. Like
Yeah,
with all. Okay.
yeah,
So he's looking at a full season.
yeah. I think the biggest suspension for me week 1 is would play a role in this one, and this has already been. So this opened Jags plus 5.5 against the Chiefs, and that was one that I thought was interesting because Jaguars are another team I really like their offseason. And I think Foles coming in with DeFilippo could give the Chiefs some issues in week 1, and that's a different offense when it doesn't have Cheetah at wide receiver. Like he does so much for him, and I don't know how I think he's got to sit at least a year, right? Like child abuse, he's got and I don't even want to say that. I don't know for sure. He's got so many domestic abuse issues dating all the way back to college. That's why he dropped in the draft. It's not like they found some hidden gem that could run fast. Like everybody was on Tyreek Hill. He just is an issue off the field, and it happened again this offseason. And I think he's got to be suspended a year. If it I don't know the details. I haven't looked into it that much. I don't really care, but he certainly won't be playing week 1. All right, so Dolphins, Jake Rudock, the Lions, old Michigan quarterback, is Fitzpatrick's backup. That job might be in jeopardy this preseason.
What's his name?
Jake Rudock. You don't remember Rudock from Michigan? Transferred from
Rudolph.
Iowa? Yeah.
No. Yeah, Miami. Stay clear, Miami. Who's their running back?
Kenyon Drake. He's an animal.
He's going to be relied upon heavily.
Oh yeah, but they can't. He will fall apart.
Okay, so you're talking Chiefs, Jags. You're saying Jags has got Foles, but little else.
No, I like the Jags. I like their off-season moves. I think they're going to draft it. I think they're going to draft. What's his name? The right tackle. I think they're going to draft a really good right tackle. And I think they'll get a decent receiver in the second round.
What was it? What was the deal with Foles? Like how many years does he have? Do you know? A couple years? It's a 1-year deal.
I'm sure it's not a 1-year deal. He was the dude, right?
I'm just curious because they've
it's a 4-year, $88 million deal.
Oh wow, yeah, it's a serious thing.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, so they're looking to put it together here.
All right. Anything else here? America's team opened up a 5-point favorite against the Titans. Your Cleveland Browns, your favorite football organization in the whole world.
Shut up.
Like, it's so gross. Like, how many people are piggybacking on that team now and they've been the worst team in football for forever.
Everybody loves the comeback story.
Yep.
Underdog story.
Yep. The Lions. The Lions open up a 1-point underdog on the road at Arizona. I think the story here is this total 48.5. It opened 49.5, so this is one that's been a popular under bet as well. I think it goes under even 48.5. Stafford is terrible against the Cardinals. This is a guy whose career touchdown interception ratio is insane. Career touchdown interception ratio against the Cardinals is 6-8. He had 101 yards passing against them last season. No way this game gets over 48.5.
How in the world does that happen? Why is he so bad against the Cards?
I don't know. Maybe it's a freak stat. Did you see the Joey Votto's freak stat?
No.
He had in 6,000 plus career at bats, he had never popped out to first base. Not once, really? And he did last night. It's over.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yep. All right. Any more? Patriots 6.5-point favorite against the Steelers. Saints opened, I believe that was 8.5 against the Texans, and it got bet down to 7.5. And then Oakland is a 3-point favorite at home against Denver. They're going to need to win that because their schedule is brutal. Denver is one of the few teams that they could possibly beat, but we'll see. Actually, I think Denver is a little underrated with the weapons they have on offense, and Joe Flacco dragged through the mud kick to beat Izzy elite. I think he's gonna surprise some people for Denver. We'll see.
Do you know how many years his contract was?
Was that a trade? I don't remember.
I'm just curious. I mean, I imagine that it's maybe even a 1-year deal.
Yeah, I think it was a trade. Yeah, it was a trade. So they have him on the Broncos deal, which is through 2020. Yep. So they pay him $20 million this year and $24 million next year. So 2 years remaining on that contract.
I mean, I remember not too long ago when Flacco received, the biggest quarterback contract in the league at the time. I mean, it's never ending, trending upwards, but yeah, I mean, he's got a rocket, that's for sure. I can't wait to start talking every single game. I mean, there's so much content we can cover in NFL.
Yeah.
For the time being, you're clipping me.
What am I doing?
You're pulling me, man.
Clipping your wings?
Pulling NFL talk already.
No, I mean, what? You want to keep going on the NFL? I'm not. We don't have the lines up. No, I'm interested. What do you got? You got some storylines to share?
Nothing. I just wanted to go through every single game, but I mean, we can do it again. I mean, we covered, the main aspects of NFL schedule. So we'll go into more depth, of course, ad nauseum, in the coming weeks and months.
100 days till the Hall of Fame game, and then the Hall of Fame game's on. You're like, Jesus, I waited for this.
Yeah.
Bunch of fifth stringers. And
yeah.
Is this dirt field in Canton?
Yeah. Is this high school football?
Yep.
All right. Close segment.
Oh, all right.
Open segment.
Sure.
Right. Welcome back to the Hello Rookie podcast. Thanks for hanging with us. So now we're going to talk about NHL bets. What have you got, Chris? Are you going to pull yourself out of this hole you've dug, or are you just wiping your hands of the whole thing?
Bitch, it was 3-1 yesterday. What do you want me to do? All right, you know what?
No. Hold on. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, Chris bet heavily on the Lightning. He lives in the Tampa Bay area, and the Lightning fell,
frankly, as
without winning a game.
As did everybody. The entire series, 100% of the money was on the Lightning.
Yes,
it's
correct.
Unprecedented.
But this is my whole reference. Other than that,
I thought you were referring to last night where we were 3-1.
No, you called them, man. Boston and Dallas both, right?
Yeah. Or were we 2-1 last night? What was it? Was there a 3-game slate or a 4-game?
I remember you called Boston and Dallas. I think there was maybe just one other game.
Um, oh yeah, 2 for 3. That's right. I thought Calgary would. Calgary. Man, another 1-8. Calgary's down 3-1 to Colorado. That's over. They don't have. Yeah, they don't have an answer to the McKinnon line, so they'll steal another game somewhere. Both 1 seeds done in the first round of the playoffs. It's crazy.
No kidding. Okay, so let's take a look at the schedule real quick. Okay, so today we have 3 games. Washington leads their series 2-1 against the Hurricanes.
Series 2-1.
I'm looking at it right here.
What?
Capitals. Yeah.
Hold on. Oh, there's only 2 games tomorrow. That's bad. Oh
Washington
yeah, that's right.
2-1.
So yeah, all right. Capitals, but they've only played well in one of those games. They won 1 game with 14 shots. All right, go ahead.
Anyways, 3 games tonight: 7, 8:30, and 10 o'clock. Washington leads their series 2-1 against the Hurricanes. The Blues and Jets series is tied at 2-2, and the Golden Knights Sharks. The Knights lead their series 3-1.
Yep, my one's done tonight. No doubt about it.
What's the betting on that? Is there any? Everybody knows that that's going to happen. So the lines.
I would assume it has to be 100% of the money is on Vegas. I don't know how. What sort of idiot? No offense. I think people out there, I'm sure, have money on San Jose or think that their beloved Sharks could win tonight. I mean, the Sharks are minus 110 money line, so they are the favorite. 75% of the money is on Vegas to get it done.
Closing the door.
Shutting the door. I mean, that game's back in San Jose, so the issue is Mark Stone has 10 points in 4 games. They're scoring in the first 90 seconds of every single period. Martin Jones is still is starting again, and he's saving his save percentage is down under 840. I think it's well under 840 at this point. I don't know what it is at this second, but I would guess somewhere around the 820 range, which is horrible considering Ben Bishop's save percentage is probably like 960 right now. Vegas has dominated like every aspect of that series. I think the Sharks have outshot them in 3 out of 4 games, but as far as like puck possession, quality shots, quality scoring opportunities, and then Fleury's just obviously outplaying Martin Jones, and there's a gigantic gap in goalkeeping there. I don't know how the Sharks win tonight, because if Vegas scores early, it's over, right? Like the Sharks are looking forward to. They're in San Jose already. They probably could get some decent tee times for Saturday. Like that's what I would be thinking about. Like, to hell with this. They're all banged up and getting their ass kicked every night. But yeah, I think it could be over early in that one. The Winnipeg, St. Louis game, I like Winnipeg there. So you can get Vegas plus 105 right now. William Hill just moved them to minus 105, so they're slowly becoming the favorite tonight. I'm sure by the time the puck drops, they'll be the favorite.
You like the Jets? You're saying?
Yeah, I'm going back to that right now. So the Jets are the best you can get. The Jets money line is minus 120, but yeah, I like the Jets. They've kind of turned the tide in that series. So they lost both games at home, went to St. Louis, won both games. So the road team has dominated the series, but that streak is going to end tonight. Like, so the only reason St. Louis won the first 2 games is because they contained the Scheifele Connor Wheeler line, and Scheifele has been unbelievable the last 2 games. And when you get him going, the Jets are really, really tough to beat, because that line A line will steal. They'll obviously still score. The power play when Scheifele and Wheeler are both on with line A is impossible to stop. I don't think there's any way St. Louis can change the momentum at this point. I think they're going to go to Winnipeg tonight, and the Jets cover that or win it. Minus 125 money line there with them. And the last one is your home team, the Carolina Hurricanes. So I guess in my mind, I thought that they were up 2-1 because they've been throttling the Capitals every game. I picked the Hurricanes to win Game 3. They did. They outshot the Capitals 45-18 in that game. Ended up 5-0. I guess kind of got swept under the rug with the Ovechkin knocking Svechnikov out cold. 19-year-old kid. He had 2 goals in the previous game. But yeah, I got knocked out cold. According to icy data, not only is Carolina the best team in this series, but they're the best team in the entire playoffs. They lead by a wide margin in both the Corsi and Fenwick. Outshooting the Capitals, more scoring chances, outworking them, out hustling, playing with more speed. Everything. You can get them at plus 110 tonight at home. I would be all over Carolina plus 110 at this point.
There seems to be a home away correlation as well. So, first game at Capitals, lost 2-4. Second game at Capitals, lost 3-4. Third game at home, win 5-0.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, they're at home. Obviously, that's a really, really bad atmosphere in general in Carolina, but it's been better this year with the whole jerk movement and everything. But yeah, it's going to be loud there tonight, and the Hurricanes are certainly bringing the energy right now. But yeah, it goes with the same theory this like whole playoffs, right? Like Carolina, Colorado, Columbus, the Islanders. None of those 4 were the best team in their series. None of those 4 had the right to think that they could compete against the team they were facing. In all 4, outworked, out hustled, owned the blue zone, and just basically punched the higher seed, the better team in the mouth. In I think in both in all 4 cases, there were teams that kind of coasted into the playoffs, like it or not. And when it came time to crank it up, that extra 20-25% that you need for the NHL playoffs, they couldn't. They got punched and they couldn't react. And I think all 4 of those teams are going to lose their series, or 2 of them already have. And I think Washington's in trouble, and I think the Avalanche are going to put away the Flames. So it's been a crazy NHL playoffs, man. The best teams aren't going to be in it. That's why I think we need a Winnipeg, Vegas, Western Conference final. And
that's what I was just going to ask you. Who do you think the Knights are going to face?
Well, I wouldn't consider the Knights a lock against Winnipeg. Winnipeg had a better record. The Knights are certainly hotter. They'll get better goalkeeping. But that'll be a really fun series to watch. A lot of skill. The Mark Stone line, the Scheifele line, Patrick Laine. But yeah, I don't know. In the East, I don't know what you're going to... Well, obviously the Capitals are a favorite right now, but I would imagine that's shifting towards the winner of the Bruins Toronto game or series. Yeah, I don't know.
It'd be fun to watch, huh?
Yeah, it's gonna be crazy.
What kind of scotch are you going to be drinking throughout the rest of the NHL playoffs?
I'm mixing it up a little bit. I've been drinking some Japanese stuff. I'd have to look the name up, but I'm addicted to Japanese scotch, man. And it's not like you wouldn't expect it, but yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah, I went to dinner with the chief medical officer for my wife's hospital, and it was like on the hospital, one of those type of dinners, and division was picking up the bill. So and I didn't do this. I would never, like, I'm the opposite of this type of guy. I felt guilty, and I actually asked to have my scotch separate from the bill or whatever. But yeah, we were drinking $50 glasses of scotch, and it wasn't like it. When I got back to the house and ended up ordering a bottle, it wasn't super expensive. It was like a $200 bottle, but really, really good scotch.
Yeah. So what's the most common? I'm not up to date on this, but what's the most common type of scotch again? I can't remember. What's it called in the U.S.? Like what's the go-to for everybody? There's like 12-year and 18-year.
Probably McKellen or Glenn Levitt or I don't know.
What was the first one that you said?
McKellen is like the most popular, I
Yeah,
think, amongst Scotch drinkers.
yeah, that's the one I bought from my father-in-law. But yeah, there's like the most common is like basically 12-year-old, and then there's 18-year-old, and then there's a variety of each of those, I believe. But yeah, so the 18-year-old I think is in the $200 range.
Yeah. So actually, the I just looked up on my account there. The one I got, I'm gonna pull it up for you right here in case you want to order this, Joe.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure that people are going to want to know what kind of Japanese scotch you're on.
This I'm telling you that, man, this stuff is so good. There we go. Oh, I have to verify that I'm 21. Foolproof system here of entering a date in. How do I?
Yeah, Macallan 12 is what I got my father-in-law.
Yeah. So this
So I
is
believe,
only 120 euros, which is what, like 135 USD?
uh, yeah,
Yeah. So
yeah.
it's not even 200 bucks here. Um, this is a 12 year. They have a 25 year that I don't know. I think the 25 year is like 300, but the 12 year was what I drank, and it was delicious. It's so good. But yeah, this is my go to right now.
I mean, was it hard hitting, or you liked it
Yeah,
because it
yeah.
went
It's hard.
down easy, or
It's
what?
hard hitting. I mean, not hard.
Okay,
I mean, it's got like a really good burn. Like it's got a good, I don't know, good taste, good burn. It's really good.
that's interesting. All right,
It's my
cool,
favorite.
good deal. Close segment.
Oh, closed.
All right, good stuff. So, I guess we'll just get into final thoughts here. I have a couple of things we'll go over.
Oh God.
You don't need to be
I
worried.
do I need to mute my? Do I need to take my headphones off?
No, but you could turn your video off. Nobody likes to see you. Let's be honest.
All right.
All right, open segment.
I don't know if I can make you full screen.
I'm not, just kidding.
Oh, I'm more than happy to. Like, it'd probably be better for both of us if my face was hidden and whatever. All right.
For that,
You want to open a segment
for
for
that
us?
matter, both of us should probably just. This should probably just be audio, to be honest. All right, but yeah, open segment.
Okay.
All right, ladies and gents, Hello Rookie final thoughts here. We're going to have a brief scrum. Let's talk about. Well, we're going to talk about dynasty fantasy football in just a second, but I'm going to give a quick, very quick golf update. Just going over some scores here.
Wait, this isn't going to be politics?
I mean, last time we started talking about politics, it didn't go so great. So it's
Okay.
up to you. I'm happy to talk about it, though.
Oh no, I'm happy that you're not. I thought I was getting a little concerned. All right, if it's golf, I'm all in, man. I didn't check
Yeah.
my lineup yet. I'm going to pull it up. All right, go ahead, score us.
All right. So I highlighted some names here. So right now, Daniel Berger is tied for second at 5 under. He's through
Son
17.
of a bitch, man.
Webb Simpson is tied for seventh.
Berger was great last year. He's made 4 of 8 cuts. How do you start him fantasy wise when he's made 4 of 8 cuts on the year? All right, go ahead. Keep going.
Webb Simpson is 2 under through 15. He's tied for seventh. Also tied for seventh is Charlie's favorite, or Chris's favorite golfer, Charlie Hoffman.
He's in the
Also
fantasy team this week. Let's get
tied
it.
for seventh, 2 under through 2, starting off hot. Tied for 13 is Leishman. Got to keep
Also
your
on
eye
the
on.
fantasy team.
Got to keep your eye on the Aussie.
It's I think interesting. Also tied for 13 there is Luke Donald. He has 6 in 9 starts. He has 6 second place finishes on this course and a third.
Okay, well Leishman's not staying. He's a 1 under through all of them. He's finished. But I mean, yeah, he can go off tomorrow or the next day. But anyways, also tied for 13, along with Donald is and Leishman is Snedeker. He is 1 under through 16. I always see his name popping up. I figured I'd put him in my featured list. Tommy Fleetwood's tied for 27th, even through 16. Jordan Spieth is tied for 43, +1 through 15. What is happening, Spieth? And Chris's favorite Molinari is tied at 61 +2 through 15. Ian Poulter, Matt Kuchar, Bryson DeChambeau, Kevin Kisner, Dustin Johnson, Xander, Patrick Cantlay, and Zach Johnson are all yet to play. They're actually just about to start at 12:30.
Yep. I'd expect DJ to go low today. Another interesting Jim Furyk is another guy that he's got 5 or 6 runner up. I think he's got 1 win and 5 or 6 runner ups on this course. So this is just a course that people that golf it's got even more of a correlation to past history or past success, like tends to hold up here on this course.
That's interesting. I'll have to put Furyk into the featured list. So the current leader, I should mention, I guess, is Shane Lowry at 6 under, finished.
Yeah, that's a big number. Or a low number, I guess. So my lineup: Bryson DeChambeau, he's not out yet.
Right.
Matthew Fitzpatrick, he's even? Just went out, I believe. Is that right?
I didn't even put him in the list.
Let me see where he's at. I saw him. I thought he was even.
Adam Furyk. There he is. There's Furyk.
Fitzpatrick is 1 over through 2. Leishman, Cam Smith, he's not out yet. And Charlie Hoffman, who is in 7th, you said, and Emiliano Grillo just went out, and he is even or -1. I can't stop Emiliano Grillo. I don't know why.
Yeah, he's
the hype lives on with me. He was the darling child coming into the 2018 season. It just didn't happen.
So how did he finish at the Masters? I remember you talking about him before.
Yeah, he was leading, or I think he was leading for a bit on the first day. No, he didn't. He made the cut. I don't know. He finished back 50s, something like that. But again, I think he was 6,400 for the Masters, so it's pretty close to a punt play. So getting him to make the cut and having at least one day of really good scoring where he went low was more than enough. Especially when 5 of the 7 guys we gave finished in the top 10.
Yeah. I mean,
but
I just named absolutely everybody, so I can't say much. But you had some solid picks.
Yeah, this tournament's going to be.
Grillo's a youngin', right?
He's not that young. It's kind of like you calling yourself young still. I think he's 25, something like that. So he's young, yeah.
Yeah, he's a youngin'. Okay, so what? Watney's a youngin' too, right? He's another one. Oh, he's not. He's our age.
He's 30 now, I think.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, Watney. Woo. I went to the Valspar 3 or 4 years ago, and he was in the group with Henrik Stenson, and I wanted to follow Stenson. So the highlight of that round was the women that Watney brought with him. It was insane.
Really?
I would imagine his wife, or I think it was probably his girlfriend, and then her friends. But yeah, well done on that, man.
Okay, so I remembered a quick, really short and dumb story that I forgot to mention when we were talking Masters last week, talking about Ricky. So Wells Fargo Championship last year, Kate and I and her parents and sister went to it. Well, we went the past 2 years actually, but last year it wasn't the tour championship or whatever. It was just kind of a regular tournament, I guess. But anyways, it was like the 14th or 15th hole or something, and everybody was lined up. We had great positioning to watch Ricky tee off. And this was later in the day, late afternoon. A lot of drinking had been happening around the whole course. And some middle-aged man who was heavily intoxicated, shouted from the top of his lungs, like right next to where Ricky was teeing off. Stick it, Ricky! It was the funniest thing ever.
Yep. You might be watching golf in North Carolina if that happens.
Oh, shut up. North Carolina is some of the classiest people you'll ever have the pleasure of meeting.
Oh, like hell.
Oh, and Tampa Bay is pure class. Give me a break.
Oh my god.
There's nothing behind what you just said.
Listen, all right. It might be somewhat classy in Charlotte, Raleigh, your little cities, but you get in those foothills and God help you. You end up at a gas station in one of those little foothills and oof.
Yeah, there are mountains in North Carolina. There are people that live outside of this city in North Carolina, unlike the
All right,
the
move on.
the flat.
I don't know why you got to pick a fight at the end of every single show.
Oh, I picked it, right? I picked it. Okay. Anyways, you want to talk a little bit about Dynasty Fantasy Football? We need to start up the damn league. We got people to go. Okay.
Listen, it's April. Is it?
We sent out
it's April.
We sent out the feeler text. We got some positive feedback. So we got a group of about 10 guys. We're looking to put together an actual dynasty to be around for the next 10 years. All right? Possibly longer than that.
Yeah. We have 10 exactly right now, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
What platform?
Probably
platform
Yahoo.
are you gonna... Yahoo? Yahoo?
Yep. It's free. There's a daily option, so we can con these people out of some of their money while they're
Shut up. It could be free as far as I'm concerned. It's going to be fun to do a dynasty.
No, yeah, I'm not. I meant the platform is free. I can't stand.
Oh, I get to.
I'm in leagues where it's like $300. It was like a CBS package in one of the leagues. They get this CBS package. It's $300 to manage your league, and it's the same exact product if you created a free league on the CBS website. You like get a draft board.
Really?
Yeah, and they can't give it up.
Why are they charging $300?
I don't know. I do not know for a draft board. I don't even know if they. I don't know.
Okay, so we'll do free Yahoo. What kind of draft? Like what kind of draft format are we gonna implement? Are there options?
I mean, same as the first draft is the big one, right? It'll be snake probably.
Okay.
Serpentine because that's you could do auction, but the whole thing with the dynasty league is like putting extra value on those on the future draft picks, right? Like you want to be able to grab Saquon Barkley because then you have a elite running back for the next 10 years or however long. So yeah, putting extra added value on those first round draft picks because there's probably 10 guys every draft that are worth either they're on the free agent pool because they got hurt or whatever, or are an incoming rookie that is worth drafting. So trying to finagle when you're desperate and trying to make the playoffs, and I know that you're going to be bottom of the league once again. I'll take your first round draft pick for some scrub, Danny Amendola, and then I'll use that first round draft pick to draft Saquon Barkley, and I'll let you know about it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, you can only do that with a snake draft.
Right. So, how does the salary break down? Like team salaries and stuff, like budgets.
Well, if you do a snake draft, then there is no team salary. You mean
right?
Free agent auctions? So that would just be a budget at the beginning of the year, or you could just do waiver order. I don't. I don't know. We'd have to look at that. Whether it would be waiver order, I'm guessing it would be waiver order rather than auction.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of things that we need to dive into. We could probably do a whole.
I think if you Googled it. There's an article, really well written one, on how a step-by-step guide on how to start a dynasty league.
Did you write that?
I did.
Is it 5 years old?
um, let's see. It's got a date on it.
Our video is so clear right now.
Is it blurry on yours?
It
Is that
was.
North Carolina internet.
My goodness.
Sweet Jesus. Oh, Hello Rookie has an article even. 2016.
Yeah, so 5 years isn't too far off, huh?
All right, so I did a blind bidding system was my recommended. You could also do waivers. Boom.
Good to know. All right, cool.
Ooh,
So
I
anyways,
also said myfantasyleague.com is a good alternative to Yahoo and ESPN.
good to know. We'll have to keep everybody posted and update those articles as we go. We're getting a lot of searches for Dynasty stuff. Plus, I'm excited about it. All right. Anything you'd like to circle back to, Chris? Any final thoughts?
Hold on. I've got notes on my phone of things I thought we should cover. Let me see if we hit them all.
Okay.
As I was watching games last night, I was writing them down. Nope, we're good. Good show. Wow, Joe. Way to get it all in. You organized it well. You moderated it. You guided us through it perfectly. Thought you brought a lot of insightful information to the table.
Thank you. You're welcome. I'll be here again on Monday, so we'll see you then. All right, that's all we have for today, ladies and gents. Thank you for your viewership, and don't forget to like, share, and or subscribe to Hello Rookie on your favorite platforms. Also, visit HelloRookie.com for all your latest daily fantasy and sports betting reviews, promotions, and strategies. Peace.
Also, if people are watching this on YouTube, we do go live every day, so if you subscribe, you'll get a little push notification when the show starts. Peace.